Hey guys, we're here with Justin and Nicole of Natural Restorations, and when we were traveling through Central and South America, we were always checking online, see what's going on in the world, and there wasn't always something super positive except for their posts. And so we wanted to meet with them, tell you guys about them, and let them sort of tell you what they do in their own words. So welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah. They're also super OCD, like satisfying when you watch their videos too. That's what I like. I'm like, oh, that's so good.
The before and afters, as you'll soon learn, are a big part of it too. So why don't you tell us who you are and then what you guys do?
I'm Nicole Corey. I'm the executive director and co-founder of Natural Restorations. It was actually his brainchild. He came to me with the idea. I'll let him talk about more of that. But we created Natural Restorations to go out across Arizona and remove trash and graffiti from outdoor recreation and wilderness areas. We basically just got sick of seeing it and wanted to do something about it. And as Justin will talk about the connection with veterans, it provided us a vehicle to be able to bring veterans out into nature, give them a way to serve after serving in the military, and then just make a big impact so that we don't lose access to these areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we had actually, the idea kind of came about, I went and did the 2007 Four Peaks cleanup that you were a big part of, and was out there, and while I was helping people clean up the burned up FJ, I was like, why isn't somebody doing this full time? Like, there is, like, this event's awesome every year, but what about the rest of the areas? What about the rest of the state? And there's so much time in the rest of the year to be doing this. What's going on? And I looked and looked and looked, and nobody was doing anything similar. And we initially thought, okay, we'll form an LLC. We'll just contract with the federal and the state government and the different landowners and stuff, and just try and contract and do it that way. And roughly about the same time, my best friend through high school, he had served 2 tours at that point in Iraq, came back from his second tour, and just a lot more stress, reacting to things, driving down the road, was trying to push the vehicle he was in. He'd grab the steering wheel and try and turn away from cars parked on the side, or different radio boxes on the lights, things like that.
Yeah.
And just having a really hard time adjusting while he was on medical leave and kind of being used to the civilian side and everything. And we went out camping and kind of spent the night just talking everything that he wanted to do, everything that he saw in his future, and everything that he had been through, and then kind of talked with me, and he's like, so what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to take my friends out in the desert and clean things up.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, buddy. So we kind of talked about it a little more, and then the next day we got up and did a little target shooting, and then went and started cleaning up all of our stuff. And then our dads had always been on us, always clean up your stuff, clean up everybody else's, make the area clean, don't ruin the sport, don't ruin the area. So we started cleaning up our stuff, started cleaning up everybody else's stuff, and midway through that, he kind of looked up at me and he's like, this is what you're talking about doing? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm in. He's like, as soon as I'm out, I want in on this. He's like, I haven't thought of anything we talked about last night, any of the negatives, any of the things that have been stressing me. I've just been, ooh, a piece of trash. Oh, hey, look, more trash. Oh, there's some more trash.
Yeah.
And just totally kind of acted as a mind eraser, and then we both felt good when we were done with it. So I came home from that and went to her and was like, hey, so all of my idiot friends, we're not out in the desert having a good time. Like, I think I found something that'll actually work for some of the vets coming back, give us more of a purpose and more of a meaning to what we're doing. And from there, we decided to go the nonprofit route and just started working constantly to get that going and become a nonprofit so that we can help veterans, have guys transitioning out of the military and back into civilian life can come work with us and just kind of decompress and have a family kind of military atmosphere still with all the rest of the guys that are on our crew.
Nice. So how does that work? So if somebody is a veteran and they're looking to do some good, but be with a group or maybe earn some money, how does that all work?
So usually we kind of plan our year out almost a year in advance. And so we have like an online interview where you tell us about yourself and what would make you a good fit to come out and work with us. And then we usually schedule, like, we don't like to go to coffee shops, we like to go for a hike or meet someplace like this to meet somebody. And it just is always dependent on when we have funding for projects. Because we are a nonprofit, we're solely dependent on grant funding, corporate donations, and individual donations. But we've been lucky. We're working currently on our 3rd grant through the Off-Highway Vehicle Fund, managed by Arizona State Parks. That allows us to clean up a lot of the OHV areas across the state. We are working now on a grant from REI that helps us expand our graffiti removal program.
Nice.
We've got a lot of really great organizations on board that help us be able to provide these opportunities to veterans.
And then what are ways that people who maybe are far away from here or don't have the time or the means to be able to come out and help at a cleanup or at a job specifically, what can people do to help you?
They can always visit our webpage, www.naturalrestorations.org. We have a PayPal donate area. We should in the next month be launching a store on our website where you can purchase our branded merchandise, and 100% of those funds go right back into our cleanups.
Awesome.
That's helping us launch a reforestation program. We're starting in the second week of November down on the Lower Salt River where the cactus fire went through. So that's a new branch that we're launching for our organization and for our veteran-based team. So we're really excited to have something other than trash and graffiti. It's more of uplifting, like, oh, I'm replanting an area instead of picking up after humans destroying it with trash.
And are you guys just in Arizona, or are you wider range? Are you going to be wider range?
So for the first 5.5 years, we've just been Arizona, but we have things in the works right now actually to spread out into other states.
Okay, cool.
That's
so
great.
Sadly, our services are needed, but there's more veterans that we can impact that way in more outdoor areas.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's plenty to do in Arizona, but it's fortunate that you guys are dedicated to this, so focused. And like you said before, there was always these independent cleanups happening, which is great, but then everyone has to go back to their normal lives, and so you've sort of made this your normal life, which is not just admirable, but it's great that it's working and that it's growing, and we want to see it continue to grow as well. Things like REI, that's interesting that they're supporting you. They're people contacting REI to thank them for supporting you. Is there some way to encourage the OHV program and others to continue supporting your organization to show that it's being noticed?
Yeah, we are always accepting letters of support. Those help for when we have grant proposals to show that we have community support. When we tag, like we just did a post on REI and we tagged them, and people were saying, oh, I'm going to go spend more money with REI because they support you. It didn't happen because of COVID this year, but last year REI, we had applied for a grant, and they did a thing with REI members. If they went in and purchased something, they'd get a token, and they could vote between several different nonprofits, and ours was one of them. And so we got to see a lot of people. We kind of hid in line one day and saw people pick our box, and so it was, it's a really cool way.
Well, cool. Well, when you see those things, folks, we'll try and blast it out there. When we see it, we'll put all the links down below in the description so you can find them, find their posts, and you're really active on Instagram, Facebook. And I love that every time you guys finish a project, you show the before, the after, and all the work they do, no matter how grimy it is and whatever is out there, from graffiti being taken off of rocks, which is an amazing process that you guys do because it looks untouched beforehand, a lot better than just spray painting over it with a rock-like color, It's really wonderful to see, all the way to dump tires, diapers, all that sort of thing.
Hot tubs.
Hot tubs, Who doesn't need a hot tub out in nature, right?
Cars, more and more boats.
I just thought of too, another way people can support us without even spending any money with us is the Fry's Community Rewards Program. You can sign up. We have information on our website and social media. Anytime you use your Fry's card, they send us a percentage, as well as Amazon Smile is another way.
Amazon Smile, okay, that's a great one. I know Tread Lightly has done that in the past as well. So we'll make sure all those links are down there. Of course, it's all on your website, how to do all these different ones. But we'll just make sure it's clear how to support them on Amazon. If you've never done that, it's sort of like an affiliate program in a sense, but it's for a nonprofit where when you shop through Amazon, you use one of your links, correct? Or you just select you as the beneficiary?
Yeah, you select us as the beneficiary, and then instead of going to Amazon.com, you go to smile.amazon.com.
Well, cool. Of all the work that you do, I know a lot of it's different and interesting. Do you have any sort of crazy things you've seen out there, or random stories you want to share?
We've had a lot of fun doing graffiti removal projects, being able to get into the boulder areas around the state. Those are extremely physically challenging because our pressure washer is 80 pounds that has a 10-gallon tank in it that we carry that into places. It's basically all self-contained in a Pelican-style box, and then we carry that plus water cubes or run hoses. So I just ran 1,000 feet of hose off the rim up above Payson, dropped off the Mogollon rim, and then down to the Washington Park Tunnel and did a graffiti removal project there. So those are fun. We find a lot of creative ways to use the bathroom. Lots of interesting stuff there.
People, in other words, not burying it and making it go away, or taking it with them, with the two acceptable options. They find new and interesting ways, huh?
And then something that's really neat when we host volunteer events. Unfortunately, we only got 3 in before COVID happened this year, but normally on a regular year we'll host 10 to 12 volunteer events, big and small. And we regularly have parents come up and thank us for providing an opportunity for their little ones to come out and just kind of fall in love with nature, but also see that we need to steward our lands, why we leave no trace. And one of them had texted me after a cleanup and said, my son did not want to go to your cleanup. He thought picking up other people's trash was going to be really lame. But she sent me a picture of him passed out in the back of their vehicle, and she said all he could talk about was, Mom, when can we come and do this again? I had so much fun. And he was making friends with other kids and treating it kind of like a scavenger hunt, got excited when he found trash and could immediately see that he had made a difference. And so that really means a lot to us, that we're making an impact on youth that are going to be keeping these areas stewarded long after we're
kind
gone.
of having that education of how we should hopefully someday
Yeah.
treat our
Yeah.
outdoors.
And genuinely, if picking up trash doesn't sound like fun, I agree, it doesn't. These events, these pickup events, it's more about the people. If you're sort of tired of the people you see online or the people you sort of too much negative in the news, when you go to one of these events, it's like everyone has self-selected the best of your community. So that is my favorite part of it. I would still say at this point, 10 years past doing the cleanups, most of the people that I know, most of the good friends that we have, most of the people in the industry we work with, I somehow met through those cleanups back in the day. So it really is, it's a meeting point and sort of a gathering point for the best of society, I think, in a lot of ways. And that's what it's about. I mean, you do pick up trash. It's very satisfying because you see an area that's dirty and you leave it clean, and that in itself is very satisfying. But if you're a little put off by the idea of just picking up trash, remember it's really to go there and sort of be around other people who just want to do something good. And it's that simple.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. Wonderful what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
it's good to catch up.
Yeah, thanks for having us.